300 million years before the dinosaurs, the Earth looked like something from a completely different planet. It was a world of giants, of endless swampy jungles, and of an atmosphere so thick it supercharged life into nightmares. But what if you could go back? What if you, a modern human, took just one step into this lost world? How long would you last? The answer is more terrifying and more fascinating than you could possibly imagine. All right, let's run a quick diagnostic. You, right now. How's your eyesight? Your strength? Your immune system? Forget all of it. It's useless here. Because we're throwing you into a world where the oxygen alone could trigger seizures, where a single cut is a death sentence, and where the millipedes are the size of cars. Think you're a survivalist? Let's see how you handle the single most hostile environment to ever exist for a human. You materialize. One moment you're here, the next you're there. The first thing you notice isn't the sight or the sound, it's the smell. It's a thick, wet, overwhelmingly organic perfume, a potent mix of rotting vegetation, damp earth, and something sweetly pungent, like a mountain of freshly cut grass left to ferment in the sun. You take your first breath, and it burns. This isn't a toxic burn, it's a hyper-efficient one. We've just thrown your 21st century physiology into an atmosphere with 35% oxygen, over 50% more than what you're built for. Your body is a finely tuned engine suddenly running on rocket fuel. Your initial sensation is a wave of dizzying, almost euphoric energy. Your thoughts might feel sharper, your reflexes quicker. This is the infamous oxygen high theorized in the Carboniferous. But your body has no idea what to do with this surplus. Here's the physiological nightmare you've just walked into. Your cellular mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, are going into overdrive. They're producing ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, your body's energy currency, at a rampant, unsustainable rate. It's like revving a car engine to its red line and holding it there. This accelerated metabolism would drastically increase your core temperature. You'd start sweating profusely almost immediately, not from heat, but from an internal metabolic furnace raging out of control. But the real, insidious danger is oxidative stress. Think of oxygen as a destructive force. It's what makes metal rust and apples turn brown. Your body normally manages this with antioxidants, but flooded with this much O2, your system is overwhelmed. Hyperoxia sets in. Free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells, are being produced at a catastrophic rate. They attack proteins, break DNA strands, and ravage the fatty membranes of your cells. This is accelerated aging on a cellular level. Within hours, even if nothing else got you, you'd be suffering from severe pulmonary and neurological toxicity. Inflammation would run rampant through your lungs, pulmonary edema, and you could experience seizures or vision problems from central nervous system damage. Your survival in these first few minutes hinges on one thing: moderating your breathing. You'd have to consciously take slow, shallow breaths, fighting every primal instinct that tells you to gulp down this energizing air. Panic is a death sentence. A single anxiety attack with its heightened respiratory rate would flood your system and accelerate the toxic process. You'd need to find a way to calm your mind, to meditate while surrounded by what comes next. The deafening, terrifying chorus of a world that has never known a mammal and sees you as nothing more than a strange, slow-moving snack. You've managed your breathing. Now you open your eyes, and the world is wrong. The trees are like nothing you've ever seen. Towering lepidodendrons, scale trees that look like giant reptilian telephone poles shoot up over 160 feet, their canopies blotting out the sky. Horsetails, calamites, the size of modern-day trees, form dense, bamboo-like thickets. The ground is a spongy, wet mattress of decaying plant matter, 100 feet thick in places. This is the peat that will one day become the coal that powers our industrial revolution. And everywhere, the sound is a constant, deafening, high-pitched buzz and chirp. This is the sound of arthropod life, supercharged by the oxygen-rich air, and they are not small. Your first encounter might be with Arthropleura. This is a millipede that grew to the size of a compact car, up to 8.5 feet long and 1.5 feet wide. Seeing one of these gentle giants, a vegetarian detritivore, rumble past you through the leaf litter would be a soul-shaking experience. The ground would vibrate. While not directly predatory, its size alone makes it a lethal obstacle. A startled arthroplora could easily trample you or deliver a powerful defensive pinch. But the true kings of the Carboniferous skies are the meganeurids, giant dragonflies with wingspans rivaling a modern hawk, nearly 30 inches across. You see one hawk-a giant mayfly out of the air, its wings beating a deep, resonant thrum that you feel in your chest. Could it prey on you? Unlikely. Its jaws are designed for slicing other insects, but its incredible aerial agility and terrifying appearance would be a constant source of psychological stress. Every buzz near your ear would make you jump. The real threats are more subtle. You'd need to be terrified of the water. Lurking in the shallow, warm, weed-choked waterways are ancient sharks like Xenacanthus and massive predatory amphibians that are the apex predators of this world. Eogerenus, a crocodile-like amphibian reaching 15 feet in length, would be a nightmare ambush hunter. You would never ever want to venture into open water to try to wash your wounds or get a drink. Your survival strategy here is all about observation, stealth, and choosing your path with extreme prejudice. Moving through the dense calamite stands would be like navigating a forest of razor-sharp blades. Their silica-rich stems could give you deep, debilitating cuts, opening you up to infection. You'd need to find high ground, perhaps a stable moss-covered log or a rocky outcrop, a rarity in this swamp, to get your bearings. But every step must be deliberate. A misplaced foot could mean a broken ankle, a snake-like amphibian bite, or disturbing a nest of giant, primitive spiders. You are not at the top of the food chain. You are a fragile, hairless ape in a world of armored, venomous, and gigantic invertebrates. Your greatest advantage is your primate brain. Theirs is millions of years of evolutionary perfection for this specific, brutal environment.
Hours have passed. The metabolic overdrive from the oxygen-rich air has consumed your body's energy reserves at a frightening pace. You're starving, dehydrated, and exhausted. The euphoria is gone, replaced by a deep, gnawing hunger and a pounding headache from the early stages of oxygen toxicity. Survival now depends on two things: finding safe water and calorie-dense food. And in the Carboniferous, almost nothing is familiar. You're surrounded by plants, but most are inedible or outright toxic. The giant scale trees, lepidodendron, are not a food source. Their bark is tough and scaly, and their internal structure is unlike anything modern. The giant horsetails, calamites, are loaded with abrasive silica and alkaloids that would shred your digestive tract and make you violently ill. Your best bet would be the ferns. Ostrich ferns and others produce fiddleheads, the young coiled fronds that could be edible if cooked, but you have no fire. Eating them raw is a gamble, a likely ticket to severe gastric distress, which in your weakened state could be fatal. What about fruit? There is none. Flowering plants won't evolve for another 150 million years. There are no berries, no apples, no recognizable nuts. Some primitive seed ferns, Glossopteris, might produce small, nutrient-poor seeds, but finding them would be a challenge. Your stomach aches. You notice giant, towering structures that look like trees, but are actually fungi, prototoxites, a fungal tower that could grow over 20 feet tall. Is it edible? Almost certainly not. It's likely fibrous, toxic, and a testament to a world where decomposers ruled as much as the producers. Water is everywhere, but it's a teeming bacterial soup. Without the ability to boil it, drinking from a stagnant pool means ingesting a cocktail of prehistoric parasites and bacteria that your 21st century immune system has no antibodies for. Dysentery would kill you in days. Your only hope for clean water is to find a way to collect rainwater from large leaves or to find a fast-moving, aerated stream, though those would be prime territories for those giant predatory amphibians. And then there's the problem of injury. A simple cut from a calamite stem, festering in the hot, humid, bacteria-filled air, could become a necrotic wound within days. There is no penicillin, no antibiotics. Your body is on its own. You'd need incredible knowledge of natural antiseptics, perhaps the sphagnum moss in the bogs, which has mild antibacterial properties. Every single decision, from what you put in your mouth to where you step, is a calculated risk with the highest possible stakes. One wrong choice, and you become a statistic in the fossil record. The sun, a star that has watched over Earth for billions of years, dips below the horizon of this primeval world. But the darkness that falls is not like any darkness you have ever known. There are no stars. The thick, humid haze and high cloud cover blot them out. There is no moonlit glow. The blackness is absolute, oppressive, and alive with a new symphony of sounds. Your human eyes are next to useless. You are now blind in a world of predators with highly specialized senses. This is when the true masters of the Carboniferous emerge. Giant nocturnal arachnids, primitive tarantulas and whip scorpions the size of dinner plates scuttle across the forest floor, sensing vibrations through hairs on their legs. They can feel your every footstep, your every panicked heartbeat. Your previous strategy of cautious observation is gone. You are reduced to a trembling, sensory-deprived animal. Your hearing becomes your primary sense, and it's terrifying. Every rustle in the giant fern fronds sounds like an approaching arthropleura. Every splash in the distant water is a 15-foot Eogerenus on the hunt. The constant, deafening buzz of insects changes pitch, becoming deeper, more resonant. You might hear the low, guttural croak of a large amphibian, a sound that would vibrate through your very bones. And then you see the lights. In the absolute blackness, patches of faint, ghostly bioluminescence glow on the forest floor. This is the mycelium of giant fungi, or perhaps bioluminescent organisms on decaying logs. While it provides a faint, eerie illumination, it's a trap. It attracts millions of insects, which in turn attracts the predators that hunt them. Standing in that glow would make you a silhouette, a clear target. This is the ultimate test of psychological fortitude. The human mind is not designed for this kind of sustained, primal fear. Paranoia would set in. Every shadow your mind creates would be a monster. The urge to run, to panic, would be overwhelming. But to run is to trip, to fall, to snap an ankle on a hidden root, to impale yourself on a calamites stem, or to literally run headfirst into a waiting predator. Your only option is to find the best shelter you can, perhaps a hollow log, though it might already be occupied, and stay perfectly silent, listening to the horrors of the night play out around you, hoping you are not discovered. The Carboniferous night is not a passage of time, it's a 12-hour gauntlet of terror. The sun returns, burning through the mist. You have survived the night. You are dehydrated, starving, suffering from oxygen toxicity, covered in cuts, insect bites, and a layer of filth. You are psychologically broken from a night of unimaginable terror, but you are alive, for now. So, could you survive the Carboniferous period? The brutal, unequivocal answer is no. Not for a week, not for a month. The absolute maximum any modern human could last in this environment is a handful of days, and that would require unimaginable luck and near superhuman prepper knowledge. You are a species out of time, an alien on your own planet. The Carboniferous period was not designed for mammals. It was the age of the arthropod and the amphibian, a world built on a scale and with a chemistry that is utterly hostile to our existence. We are only here today because our tiny shrew-like ancestors did survive it, hiding in the shadows, scurrying through the night, living a life of constant fear until the oxygen levels dropped and the world changed, allowing our lineage to finally step into the light. Surviving the Carboniferous isn't about strength or courage, it's about biology. And our biology is hopelessly, fatally unsuited for that world of giants. It is the most beautiful, the most terrifying, and the most lethal period in our planet's history, and it is one place and one time that we should be profoundly grateful we will never, ever have to see for ourselves. The next time you see a dragonfly or a millipede, or even just take a breath of fresh air, remember the world that once was, and be glad it's gone. If you have another era of history you'd dare us to survive, let us know in the comments below. And remember, stay curious.